Good morning, everybody, or afternoon in Gabby's case. I know you're in Amsterdam. I'm so excited y'all chose to join us today. I think we'll have people trickling in throughout, but let's go ahead and get started for sake of time. If I have not met you yet, I'm Marcy. I'm the head of community engagement at GatherRound. But I want to know a little bit about you. So first thing I want to know is how familiar are you with GatherRound? Is this your first time? Have you been part of a session or two? Are you an old pro and you've hosted a bunch of sessions? Let me know where you're at so I know how much to explain today. Okay, couple people's first time. Most people have hosted before. Lovely. Okay, cool. So top two things to know today is we're going to use the chat a lot. Feel free to respond to what I'm saying, to what Julia and Alyssa are saying a little bit later, to what each other are saying. Please use that as much as you want to. The other thing I want you to use a lot is reactions. So reactions are this celebration button. It kind of looks like the ta-da emoji. If you open that up, you're going to see love, wow, laugh, thanks. So use those as much as you want to too. Just so I know you know where it is, give me a bunch of reactions. Let's just flood this room. And yes, okay, I'm seeing them come through now. Fantastic, cool. Yes, so use those as much as you want to today too. The other thing to know, I cannot see you yet. So you'll have camera and mic when you go into breakouts a little bit later and when we do some full group sharing. But for now, I just see what you see, just me on camera and mic for now. Okay. Our agenda today, I'm going to run you through real quick just so you know what to expect for the next hour. We're going to start with a quick warm-up breakout so you get to meet someone else in this event, another intern program leader. Then we're going to do a group share, and that's basically an activity where we spotlight each person if you want to share in front of the entire group. Then we're going to do a fireside chat with Juliet and Alyssa, our fantastic Meraki team who has decided to join us today. Thank you so much, Juliet and Alyssa. We'll do that for about 10 minutes, and then we'll actually do a live Q&A with y'all, so you can ask them whatever you want. So I wanted you to know this up front. So if you have any questions as we go through the first part of the fireside chat, be sure to write those down, and you will have an opportunity to ask a little bit later. Then we'll do another small group so y'all can learn more about each other's intern programs, and then we'll end for the day. If that sounds good, give me a thumbs up, a woohoo in the chat, a reaction, whatever you're feeling right now, just so I know you're with me, you're excited. You can't wait to dive into this. Okay, cool. With that, let's go into our first warm-up breakout. This is about 6 minutes, and you'll just meet one other person in this group. If you've not been in GatherRound before, this is basically going to pop up a modal in front of you that says join activity. If you want to join a breakout, press that button and you'll be matched with someone else in the room. You'll also have conversation cards on your right-hand side to guide your conversation. I will see you back here in just a few minutes. Hello, welcome back. How was that? Did you meet someone cool? Did you learn something new about another intern program? Let me know in the chat, or just like send up some reactions or something. I see some people typing. Lovely. Very fun. Good. I'm glad. Okay, next thing we're going to do is share some wins. I feel like we don't celebrate ourselves enough, especially the small things that happen every day or every week that just make you smile and you're like, hey, I'm good at my job. So we're going to do that right now. So if you have a win, big or small, from your intern summer cohort, share it now. If you want to, this is also going to bring you up on camera and mic in front of everyone, not in a breakout, just as a heads up if you haven't used group share before. But would love to hear from as many people as possible if you feel like sharing. Lovely, lovely. Becca is up first. And you got 1 minute, so it's not very long.
Oh boy, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Hi, Becca.
Hi. I did not realize that this would put me on the spot. Okay. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so something big or small that's going particularly well. It can be like a small win from this week or the past few weeks.
Yeah. We have 2 different sites where we have interns, and our smaller location is doing really well and really excited. They've got a lot of staff who are really involved in supporting them, surprisingly, this year, which has been great. And that just makes it more enjoyable to know that they're taken care of and that there's excitement.
That's amazing. Very cool. I'm glad to hear it's going well. We got Ryan up next.
Yeah, real fast. I was just sharing with Tanika and Emily. Actually, we have been doing a lot of growth with our family of companies, which means a lot of changes that can also impact students. In that, we've been able to get a lot of really great feedback this summer. That hey, some things that students were it was important to them. We were really able to make some improvements and find new ways to kind of serve them and make that experience stronger. So that's exciting for me from my position.
That's awesome. How did you get that feedback from them?
We do midterm check-ins. We'll do end-of-term check-ins as well.
Love that. Very cool. And where do you work?
CSO and Legacy 5. It's a family of companies.
Nice. Happy to have you here. Thanks for joining. Got Danielle up next.
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle. I am a coordinator for the intern early talent team at Rubric in the Silicon Valley. A win for us is that this week we have Development Week at our office. Everyone company wide is welcome to join. But we've done some intern specific events. Yesterday we had an alumni panel. So the interns got to hear from some of the alumni who got converted full time. So that was a really great opportunity to get everyone involved. Sorry, that was so fast.
No, that's perfect. Your timing was impeccable. I love that too, like highlighting some of your newer hires that converted. That makes them feel special too. Awesome. Great to hear. Hello, Courtney.
Hi. So I guess to kind of piggyback off that, we actually have a couple new entry level openings coming up, and so we also do the surveys, kind of like how Ryan was saying, of like midpoint and end of semester. And so, given the feedback that we got, we have a couple of prospective current summer interns that could be filling some of those entry level roles. So that's
Yay.
definitely a big win for us.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Where do you work, Courtney?
Oh, I'm at Berlin Rosen, which is a PR agency in DC and New York.
Amazing. Are you in New York or DC?
Oh, DC.
Heck yeah. Equally cool city, lower rent. Well, marginally, but Gabby, hello.
Hi, everyone. I'll share a win from our internship is that we have a spotlight session. So we have different people from throughout the business that come and present to our interns about cool stuff happening throughout the business. And I've been so pleased to see how engaged our speakers have been, because it's always a bit of a gamble when you ask someone to come speak to interns. But our interns have been really showing up and asking lots of great questions. So I have to give credit to them too, to be engaged and motivated. It's nice for the speakers. So happy to see that.
That's awesome. What kind of people do you have speaking to them?
All different types, some technical, some more like strategy. So lots of different roles.
Nice. Really good ideas, y'all. Alumni panels and like special speaker panels, development weeks. I love this. Thank you for sharing. If anyone else wants to join, you still have time. You can hit join activity just above my head. If not, we will move right along. Okay, cool. So the moment you've all been waiting for, actually, I lied. I have one more question for you, and then we're going to bring Juliet and Alyssa up. I want to know, just so we can kind of like speak to the folks in the room, what is like the makeup of your intern programs? Are you completely remote? Are you hybrid? Are you completely in the office? Or something else that I'm not saying right now that you can type in the chat. So let us know. Okay, lots of hybrid. Awesome. Love that. Something else. If you're the something else, please let me know what that is in the chat so I can add it as a poll option for next time. Okay, I see a couple people typing, so I want to hear what you have to say, and then we'll move right along. While folks are typing, also, I forgot to say this earlier. Well, actually, two things. One, we are about to launch transcriptions, like AI transcriptions. So we're testing that in this event. So I'll send out an AI summary afterwards, which I'm so excited about. And then the second thing is if you want to add anything to your name tag, which is essentially like you see mine says Marcy Walker, you can go into your settings and then go into your name tag on the left-hand side, and you can add like your company, your pronouns, what city you're in, whatever you want. So when you're like meeting people in breakouts, they can know that information automatically. Totally optional, but wanted to let you know that that's there. Morgan saying all of yours are in the field. Oh, got it. Okay, that makes total sense. So they're distributed, but they are in person, just not all together, which makes you, I'm sure, want to connect them in a really thoughtful way. Cool. So, Juliet and Alyssa, would you mind turning on your camera and mic, and we will get this fireside chat started? Hello, hello. I'm gonna
Hello, everyone.
you're big on stage. Perfect. Okay, thank you all so much for being here. I'm so excited to learn. Well, I already know about the Meraki program, but I'm excited for everyone else to learn about the Meraki program.
Thank you for having us. This is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here.
So maybe just to get started, Alyssa and Juliet, do you want to share what your roles are at Meraki and how long you've been there? And then we can
Sure.
things off. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa. I am based in Sacramento, California, and I am a recruiter and intern program co-lead with Juliet at Cisco Meraki. And I've been with Meraki for about 2.5 years.
Love it. Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Alyssa. And hey, everyone. So happy to meet you all finally. My name is Juliet Rodriguez. I'm based out of Chicago, originally from Los Angeles, but I live here now. And I've been with Meraki for roughly 4 years now. Started deep into the pandemic, worked my way from recruiting coordinator, and now I lead our emerging talent programs. And it's been so fun. It's been so great working with Alyssa. And yeah, we're excited to connect with you all today.
I love it. And this is our 3rd year working together. Is that right with Gather Up?
I think that sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the Meraki team are like old friends of ours, and so this is extra special to be able to highlight them today. First thing I want to do something just a little bit fun. So we recently launched these speed friending cards for folks who are like in real life, who can't use like the Gather On platform as often. So they're just like fun conversation cards, and I always like to ask people one to get started. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to draw one, and we have all these like fun little suits and stuff.
Nervous.
I was about to say, do you mind if I ask you guys a question on the spot?
Oh no,
Go
all
for
good.
it.
Okay, cool. All right, this is from the out of office suit. What is your newest skill or hobby, and what made you want to pick it up?
Okay. Okay, I got one. So it might not be a skill just yet, but a couple months back, I enrolled in a guitar lesson situation.
Cool.
And I don't know, I just wanted to stop scrolling on my phone so much.
Love that.
And so this class was like a really nice way to kind of disconnect and learn something new. I've always wanted to learn how to play an instrument, so I was like, this is the time. It's now or never.
No, that's awesome. And being able to like use a different part of your brain, I respect that so
Yeah.
much. That's awesome. What about you, Alyssa?
Not necessarily a skill, but something that I've been doing a lot more in my free time is reading. So I used to love reading as a kid and growing up, and then life it all that got like pushed to the wayside, so much so that I just like randomly went out on a whim and started a book club. And so now it's kind of like work is like happening all over again, just because we're having like in-person events and like talking about books. But I'm so glad that I've like re-found my love and reignited my love for reading, because I've missed it. And so I really enjoy doing that on my spare time, and for the same reason, trying to find something other than like doom scrolling on my phone. So really just enjoying time to curl up with my Kindle, because I am one of those people now.
Your Kindle girl. I feel like that's the big divide in like the reading community. It's like, are you like an analog physical book person or a Kindle person?
Yeah.
I'm analog, so I don't know if we're like fighting now, but
I don't know.
I don't.
I might have to hop off the call now.
Yeah. It was nice while it lasted. Thank y'all for answering those. I appreciate it. And if anyone else has secret talents or like skills they're picking up, feel free to share those in the chat too. Okay, so I want to get into intern programs. Let's like, also for anyone who's not been to one of these chats before, they're super informal. We get real here. We're not sharing like crazy expert information, even though these two people are incredible. It is like okay to share like an I don't know, or like I'm still working on that in your breakouts and everything like that. We want to be like actual resources to each other here. So I want to dig into the Meraki intern program. I know y'all have been going through a few changes in the past few years, as has everyone. So, Juliet, you were sharing with me, y'all have gone from like completely in real life to like completely virtual during COVID, and now you're at like a happy medium in hybrid.
Mhm.
So, can you tell me about that evolution and like why you made the changes that you did?
Yeah, we just really wanted to provide our interns with that flexibility. You know, like the rest of our employees have the flexibility of either being fully remote or hybrid, where they come into the office a couple of times a week. And we noticed that there's been a lot of posts on LinkedIn about folks needing to be in the office from like other companies, and we just didn't want to push that onto the interns. Like I said, we want to be flexible and attract as many interns as possible. And like we just want to give them a glimpse into what it would be like to be with Meraki from a full-time perspective. And as a full-time employee, you do have that flexibility, which has been really great. Another thing that I do kind of want to highlight around our program is that we've shifted from 3 internship cohorts to 2. So we used to have summer, fall, and winter. And it was insane. It was back to back. I feel like our recruiters were not they were not getting the rest that they needed. It was just like we're hiring so many people 24/7, and from a programming perspective, it was getting a little like exhausting as well, because you're just like kind of going through the motions, and I wasn't really able to like fine tune the program as much as we've been able to do this summer, because we had a nice winter break and we were really able to look at all of our feedback and update our program quite a bit. So far it's been a success. Fingers crossed that the interns feel that way at the end.
Yeah, I think it can be pretty difficult, especially for folks that were already familiar with us, when we now are telling them that we don't have a winter term. But when they're able to kind of join us in the summer, I think they really get to experience kind of what we've been able to reflect on. So if anyone is able to kind of take a break, especially if you're kind of doing the same cycle where you're doing it every term, definitely recommend it. I know there's always those few weeks right before where you're like, okay, things are slowing down for a bit before they pick back up. But it's really nothing compared to just having a little bit more extended time, not only just for your own well-being, because it does catch up with you, but you're really giving the interns the experience that they need, just by giving yourself time to reflect on feedback, what maybe you tried or piloted something that term. So really just making sure that we're making the most out of their time and the internship program experience itself.
That's great. I love that you like intentionally made that decision to go to one less, to both like help yourselves out and make sure that they had a really like thoughtful, intentional experience. I also love what you said about like mirroring the actual like full-time Meraki experience with the way that you allow them to like show up as an intern too. That's very cool. Great. So also, I do know that having a hybrid experience is really tough. Just making sure that like remote employees as well as in real life interns feel like equally engaged, I guess. So how do you go about making that work?
I think given that we give them the choice in the beginning to kind of work at what's most flexible for them, we use GatherRound a whole bunch, to really give them the opportunity to connect face to face as opposed to just sending pings or chats to each other, and try to plan really fun experiences that aren't necessarily related to the work so they can get to know one another. And then that, I think, will create a relationship and trickles off screen however they decide to catch up with one another. We also do a lot of fun events during the term. So we send out kits, and those kits are sent out to those who are remote as well. And then we host a call, and everyone's doing the kit, whether we're building Terranium or making coffee or a chocolate class. So it's really fun to see everyone engage on screen, regardless of where they are. And we do reserve rooms in the office that allow folks that are in person to be in a smaller setting and kind of create or whatever project that we have going on. But I think it's just the ability to have them to connect in person, especially as they're starting out because they don't know each other. So trying to have like a lot of screen time there will then turn into them like having their own relationships.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. And one other thing that we recently introduced over the fall term was our lovely intern summit. So essentially, we get to fly out all of our interns who are completely remote to either the San Francisco or our Chicago office. And that was an absolute success. Some of our interns were maybe feeling a little bit left out just because they didn't have like that in-person sense of community, or they weren't meeting any of our senior leaders. So we built out a case with the business, and we were approved to host our first intern summit last fall. And essentially it spans over the course of 3 different days. Lots of really fun events, team building events, AMAs with VPs within Meraki, a couple of after work events to kind of take the edge off a little bit, and for everyone just to get to know each other in a more like casual, comfortable setting, right? So we did that this summer again, and we did it a little bit closer to the beginning of the internship, just so that the interns were able to like forge their own community of interns with one another. So that's been really great. The feedback on that, obviously, really positive. So it's something that we're going to continue doing throughout our terms, throughout our internship terms. And I believe for the fall, we're planning to do it in Chicago,
which will be a
which
first
I'm really
time.
excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to flop between San Francisco and Chicago. So super excited for that.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Two follow-up questions on that one. One, I should have asked this earlier. How many interns do you welcome per cohort typically?
Yeah, great question. So our summer typically is our most like popular internship term, simply because everyone is on break for the most part. We've seen anywhere between right now we have 65 interns in the US. We've got 15 across EMEA and APJC. So we've got roughly around 90 interns currently. Last year we had a bit more, but we're trying to scale it back a little bit, trying to be intentional, right? And then the fall, we have around 40 interns, give or take, typically.
Yeah. Each term is a little bit different depending on like headcount, what we're budgeted for, but it's really cool. I feel like now that we've intentionally been kind of taking that step back to really just like give the interns the experience that they deserve.
I'm really loving the focus on quality over quantity. That's something that's like very hard to come by in community building too. It's just people like want as many people in the room as possible, and I really don't think that's the solution most of the time. Yeah. It's having fewer people that are super invested and really well taken care of. So I really applaud y'all for making that choice. I think that's great. Second question for you. That's a lot of people, 90 interns in a summer. And I'm sure it was not like easy to make a business case for flying all of them to one place. So can you share, I didn't warn you about this question, so no worries if you need a minute to think about this. But can you share a little bit about like how you made the business case for that and how it got approved?
Yeah, so time and time again, our interns, they kept mentioning that they wanted to all come together, get to know their fellow interns. Some of them work on projects together as well. So they were really hoping to collaborate in person. So we ran it past the managers and mentors, see like if it was something that they could fit into their schedule, given that our interns are only here for such a short period of time, right? 3 to 4 months, give or take. They were on board with it, and then we raised a case with finance as well as our SVP. And he was on board with the case that we made. And it was just a matter of like setting aside the budget for that as well. And yeah, luckily it was a success and they approved it. There was a little bit of a back and forth. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it was like easy peasy, but a bit of a back and forth. But at the end of the day, we made it happen. So
I'm sure anyone. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Mercy.
No, I was just going to say, I'm sure anyone in this event can relate to getting budget approved being a back and forth event. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that we even go through now. Like, even though the Intern Summit has been approved and it's something that we kind of adopted, we still run into issues with like our budget or finance. So just knowing that we're here, each term brings it about its own different situations. Sometimes it's very unpredictable. And even though now I feel like we've got like the Intern Summit down, we're still learning a lot. It's bringing about its own things. So just keeping that in mind, everyone. Budget. It's definitely one of those things that will always kind of be there in the background and can't get away from.
It's true. It's true. Also, you touched on this a little bit, but I want to dig. Also, sorry, y'all. My dog has a horrible cough, so if you hear her in the background, I'm sorry. You touched on this a little bit, but I want to dig a little bit deeper into how you use Gather Round with your engagement plan. So tell me more about that. You've been using us for about 3 years. So did that start, and how has that evolved over time?
Yeah, so we first heard about Gather Round through one of our like former interns. I believe she's now at Meraki full time, so that's really awesome. But she had mentioned, and like this was deep pandemic, everyone was super remote, and we were just kind of scrambling, trying to bring our interns together. This was like kind of new for us because everyone used to be in person previously. And this intern had mentioned Gather Round, like look into them. Like you can do a free trial, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Marcy? Is that still correct?
We can make that work. Yeah, totally.
I think it was just for like a very few.
Yeah, we used to do that
Okay.
like regularly, and we have like since no, it's okay. We have since taken it off the site, but we typically will like offer that as people are going through the purchase process.
Right. Yeah. So we kind of we used it in that capacity in the beginning, and then we connected with you all, and you all made the process so easy for us. And we had like a demo of how to use the site, how to use the different templates, and it really it's so easy to use Gather Round, and the templates that you all have, they're like all encompassing for like all sorts of events like interns, celebrations, holidays. So the templates are really amazing. But where it comes into play for our program is we like to use it in the beginning. So once all of our interns have started, have them all kind of introduce themselves to one another in small groups, one-on-one sessions, kind of keep it very casual, a couple of icebreakers. And then we like to use it again at the midpoint for the sake of them catching up with one another once again, seeing what challenges they've been facing, what it is that they're like picking up during their time here. And then we like to use it once again at the end for them to like share what they've been working on throughout their time here, what project they're going to present out at the end of the term, and just see like how their experience was overall. We also like using it to pull questions before an AMA. That's been very helpful. Just so that we can send that over to our panelists, just so that they're kind of aware of what to expect during our session. But it's been really great to help connect our remote folks with our hybrid folks as well. Like, of course, the hybrid folks, they're going to like know each other really well, but we want our remote folks to also feel like they've got a greater sense of community. So it's been really wonderful for that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love I think you mentioned when we were talking a couple of weeks ago that you tried to make sure that you host the virtual connection events on days where the hybrid folks are not in the office. So it feels like really equitable and everyone's on their own device. No one's like in the room together. So it feels like weird, which I think is really smart.
Yeah.
So they don't feel like they're still at a disadvantage, even though even though they have the choice to go in the office.
Yeah, of course. I think that's like key for using Gather Round as well. If you've got in-person folks, try to use it on a day where folks are working from home. Typically, our interns work from home maybe Mondays and Fridays is what I've been hearing. So we try to plan around that.
Cool. Love it. Last question, and then we're going to do a little bit of group sharing with the entire group. You have mentioned a couple different times, like getting feedback from the interns is very important. I'm sure everyone in this room agrees with that. What is y'all's process for going about that and actually like measuring the success of each cohort?
For sure. So at the end of the term, we send out an exit survey, and it is mandatory for everyone to fill out because that's where they submit their final presentations to us. So we ask them about all of our events in the form of a Google form, everyone's favorite, right? So they'll fill out how they felt about each and every event. They don't have to type out information about each event. It's just like a little sliding scale. And then at the end, they have the option to fill out any additional information, what they felt we could have improved on. And they also get to rate their managers and mentors because mentorship is such a big part of our program. So we want to make sure that those mentors were well equipped and that they were communicating with their interns. It really makes or breaks their internship program experience because this is like the person that they're connecting with on almost a daily basis. So like I said, we like to use Google Forms to collect all of our feedback. Also, we used it for the intern summit. It's not a perfect process, but it's been helping us with our program. Alyssa, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
And I feel like too at the end, just asking just for their overall experience and breaking it down, like how was your experience with your mentor manager, really just allows us to be able to see how they felt throughout their internship. They know that they can reach out to us at any time. We really try to make ourselves available to them. Even I think Juliet mentioned we try not to just ask for feedback after events. We really want to know how the program itself is kind of faring out for them. So we really want to make sure that they know that they can kind of count on us. So we, I think, do a really great job of collecting feedback in formal ways, but I think it's also really important to just check in with them and see. I'm not saying it's possible to go through each intern, especially if you have larger groups like we do, but just making sure that they know that you have laid back, informal, confidential communications with you is really, really important. And that can also be super helpful and let you know kind of what is going on in their world. Because we can manage only so much from a program standpoint. But when it comes to their day to day, just allowing them to come and check in with us whenever necessary.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you all so much. I'm going to switch up the order just a little bit because I want to make sure that we have time for everyone to chat in small groups. So we're going to jump into a small group right now, about 6 minutes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about your engagement style with your interns. And then when we come back, we'll do a group share about engagement too, so we can all hear each other's ideas on how to make sure that everyone feels really connected. And then we're going to do a couple quick polls, and then we'll end for the day. Oh, and we'll do the ask a question too, but we might have to shorten that just a little bit to 5 minutes instead of 10. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and press play on this small group, and I will see y'all back here in about 6 minutes. Have fun. Just to know you're real. Tell me your problems. Hello, welcome back. That's my favorite off of the new album. Do y'all have a favorite Beyonce off her new? What is it called? No, that's her old one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Something. I have no idea.
I don't
One
either.
with the horse on that one.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's how people know it, the horse one. Anyways.
Is it Cowboy Carter? Am I making that up?
Why does that sound right and not right at the same time?
I know.
I know.
Might be
Anyways, okay. So we're gonna do a quick group share. I want to hear everyone else's like top engagement, like hack or trick, not trick, tactic maybe. So if you want to share something that you've been doing with your interns to engage specifically like hybrid or remote folks, let me know. Would love to hear it. I don't see anyone joining. Sad.
No, I'm dying to know what everyone's doing with their interns.
Let's say Emily's joining. Great. And folks can join late if they want to. Hi, Emily.
Hi. I felt badly that no one joined, so I'll take a stab. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I'm a senior program manager at Adobe on our University Talent Programs team. We have 700 interns in North America, so it gets a little dicey at times, and we're pretty concentrated around headquarters. So we're really working on broadening to like our Seattle, New York, Lehigh, Utah, trying to enhance the experience in those offices. Oh my God, I'm losing time already.
You can rejoin since no one else is in the queue. You can just hit join activity again and we can keep going.
You should see 700.
That is so many interns, Emily. How? Wow.
Not with much sanity. Anyways, since most of our team is based in the Bay Area, we're really trying to tap on people that we know are reliable, whether they're like former interns turned grads, or like we have some sort of business relationship with them over time, or personal, whatever it may be, in those offices, to have more local reps there since our team can't be there. And working on trying to not just have all the glitz and glam at headquarters, like we're trying to bring vendors into those sites. We've had like massages and Ben and Jerry's and those in smaller offices. Goodbye again.
If you want to join the third time, you're more than welcome to. That's too funny. Oh yes, great. She's coming back.
Yay.
One more round. Admittedly, we're struggling with virtual now that we're down to so few that are remote. Once it gets that small, then I think people are so accustomed to being more in person now that they're just over the virtual component. So I think we're trying to honestly move away from having interns that are fully remote. It's just we can't provide the same for them.
That makes sense. You're kind of like advocating for like what the masses have chosen to do versus the few. That's
thanks.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thrice. That was awesome. So I do want to give everyone a couple minutes to ask you guys whatever they want to ask. I know this isn't quite as much time as we had planned for a Q&A. That's my bad. I asked some unexpected questions. But we're going to start something called Ask a Question. So this essentially gives you the ability to write in any questions, and these are going to show up in the main room so we can pick a few for Juliet and Alyssa to answer. So as you're entering questions, go ahead and put one per card, and then once you write one question, click add response, and then you can add another question if you want to. And when you're done, you can press submit, and then we'll see all of the questions that you've submitted. Juliet and Alyssa, is there anything that you like is on your mind this summer that we haven't like gotten into today? Like any new stuff you tried, or just anything that's like been taking up brain space that you want to talk about?
I've been mentioning, I was in a few small groups and we talked about the midpoint review, which is something fairly new to us. So it was really interesting to hear that like other people are of course already doing that. But I think those just got underway, but really helpful. Don't know why we haven't thought to do them before. So I'm excited to see kind of like as we finish this term. So if anyone's not doing them already, I think it would be a great thing to implement in your program.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this turns out for us, honestly, since it's our first time rolling with this, but we'll keep you all posted.
Awesome.
maybe another thing on our mind, Alyssa, maybe you can attest to this as well, is intern week next week, or National Intern Day, but we do a full week. So we've been trying to wrap things up for next week. We're doing a full week of activities, 1 hour slots each day, and interns can kind of opt into the events that they want to join. I won't take up too much time on intern week though, because I see
that's so cool though. Yeah, and everyone, if you have not already, definitely add Juliet and Alyssa on LinkedIn. I'm sure they would. I don't need to offer up your time, but like I'm sure y'all would love to stay in touch with anyone who's.
Oh yes, I've already been adding people as like they're talking.
Oh, nice. Alyssa's on it. Cool. These are great questions, y'all, and feel free to upvote other people's questions as well, so I know what's like top of mind for folks.
I can do the how do you actively use tools. So we use Handshake, and that is really helpful when we are starting out our recruiting process. I'm not super familiar with Simplicity. We do have reimagined events. So as opposed to like traditional career fairs where we meet with a lot of other schools, we actually kind of like pick a location on the map. We don't just like throw darts, but we work with various insights to help us determine a location where we can reach out and tap into early career talent pools. And then we kind of pick a fun location. We've done like Punch Bowl, we've done like Top Golf, just to meet with the interns, and then we bring along other emerging talent recruiters from Cisco or Meraki. I think that's really helpful in terms of sourcing and just building our pipeline to create a fun, chill environment for our interns. I think a lot of times our interns are putting a lot of pressure on themselves to find an internship. So they're talking to a lot of different people, a lot of different companies. So when we kind of meet them at their level, and are just really hanging out and trying to open up the conversation, that allows them to come and hang out with us. Handshake, like I said, is really helpful for us to build that pipeline and let people know like what events we'll be having to in the future and where they should be reaching out to us and joining us.
Awesome.
Does that answer the question? Yeah, I think that. If you have any follow-up, let me know.
Cool. I love this question from Danielle too about offboarding and onboarding dates. Do all of your interns start on the same day, or do you have like rolling onboarding?
Yeah, so we typically have 2 start dates, so 2 end dates as well. We try to align it with their school schedules. I know it's kind of difficult to work with them given that folks are on like a semester versus like quarter schedule. But yeah, we have 2 start dates at the beginning of summer, 2 start dates at the beginning of the fall, trying to be flexible with their schooling and all of that good stuff. I'm trying to find the question specifically to see.
Oh, it's down at the bottom. It's from Danielle.
Okay, yeah. So how do we keep engagement with those who join at the beginning? So our interns typically start like 2 weeks apart from one another. So during that time, we'll add all of them to a WebEx space, and they've been in a WebEx space long before they've joined us. So they're kind of getting familiar with one another, but once they officially join us, we'll add their company email addresses. We'll start engaging them there. We'll send a bio book with everyone's information, a couple of fun questions that we pull, 2 truths and a lie, favorite food or favorite like comfort meal. So they'll start kind of like messaging each other in the chat, trying to get to know each other a bit more. And at that time, we do like to use Gather Round as well for those interns that are already with us to get to know each other a bit more. And then we'll have another one once the full cohort is officially onboarded, and that's been really great for them. And yeah, just like a fun little way for them to get to know each other a bit more.
Cool. I want to make sure we end on time, so I'm unfortunately going to cut us off there. But Julia and Alyssa, thank y'all so much. It is just such a joy to work with y'all in general, but it was really special to be able to do this too. So thank y'all both for sharing all of your wisdom, all of your expertise. Can we give them a bunch of reactions and like thank yous in the chat? Awesome. Cool. Thank y'all so much. I wanted to do 2 really quick things if folks are able to stay around for 1 more minute. One is we've been thinking about putting on a mixer for interns of like different companies to like share their experiences with their internship this summer, just kind of like bounce ideas off of each other. If that's interesting to you, I want to know. So let me know in this quick poll. Also, I will not be, this is anonymous, by the way, so be honest. I will not be offended if the end of the summer is packed and that's just not something that they can do. But if it is, I would love to host something like that. Okay. Oh, good, great. All right. Well, maybe like beginning of August, we could do something to that effect. And I'll let y'all know so you can invite your cohorts too. And then the very last thing we're going to do is take a picture all together. So if you can stick around, please do. We're just going to do a quick photo booth. This basically like takes a photo of everyone and stitches it together. So we have a cute little collage. So I'll see y'all in just a second in there. Well, that's adorable. I think this is still loading for most folks. So I will send this out in our follow-up email so you can have this shared on LinkedIn. Please tag us if you do. And again, Juliet and Alyssa, thank you so much for being here today. I hope it was super fun for y'all too.
Oh my God, so much fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, thank y'all for joining. And I was just telling Danielle in our photo booth, we have these about quarterly, so look out for another invite in a couple months. And hopefully we'll see you there. All right. Bye everybody.
Thanks,
have a great day.
Thanks everyone. Great meeting you.
Bye.